Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen, looking at project updates for the persistent universe, what CIG studios have been working on in regards to Star Citizen's multiplayer experience and the Playable Alpha. This is a summary of the monthly report released April 2020 with a bit more context and hopefully a bit more consumable than that sort of monstrous article is typically written. Several critical bugs for Alpha 3.9.0 are fixed, and there's been a focus on making 3.9.0 as playable and stable as possible. And obviously we are waiting on 3.9.0 to be released live and even first wave PTU at time of writing this. They've refactored the friends list and unified it between Spectrum and in-game. It's in testing for 3.9 as well now. This includes features for the new party window and the ability to right-click on the contacts and join session with any contact online. A presence indicator, which will show the part of the game that they're playing in and whether they're available to party up with, and a join leader button, which will allow players to connect with another pilot on any server. The gameplay features guys shared a message. We understand how much of a pain partying up was in previous versions of the game, and we wanted to resolve this for you ASAP. We felt it was important to rebuild the entire experience from the ground up because it really needed to be. I'm certain it will still have a few rough edges, but we feel like it's a massive improvement over what was there before, and you guys would appreciate having this in your hands sooner rather than later. Please look for threads related to it on Spectrum, as we will 100% be looking for feedback from you guys on where you would like to see it go from here. Food and drink mechanics are working, and they've added various food items into several key shops, as well as more variants of food. A quick buy feature was also added for these smaller handheld items, so purchasing them doesn't require using the Moby glass. You can just grab them and then nom them if you wish. New Babbage shops and the mining consumables saw a lot of work too. They have set up volatile cargo and destruction effects for it. A new law has been crafted to cut down on pad ramming. I would very much enjoy to see less pad ramming in the game, or really harsh restrictions on like people that do it, and you get really burnt financially maybe. With environments, they've worked on the first two planets in the Pyro system alongside various other environments. New landscapes, terrain, geology shapes, and vegetarian are being explored and worked on with a huge amount of excitement. The environment art team has said, Pyro is an unfriendly hostile system. The opportunity to create something more otherworldly and dangerous looking is a nice challenge and change of pace for us. I'm very much looking forward to a new star system in game, and for 2020 we should have the Pyro system, which that's very cool. They also began looking into lore of several upcoming star systems as well, because once they start to build in Pyro and get that sort of done, they are actually able to put in a lot more star systems a lot more quickly than obviously the one we've had so far. Providing details on flora, fauna, and points of interest and gameplay scenarios players might encounter has been done with that lore stuff. Additionally, there was a coordinated effort on the systemic services and tools to expand a list of materials and resources in Star Citizen's economy. They've been testing New Babbage. New Babbage has seen optimization to the cost of shadow casting by balancing the highest possible quality and frame rate. The new day-night light states received constant refinement to ensure that transitions were believable and to prevent situations where there was too much darkness. Object container splitting and physics grids changes made their way into the Alpha 3.9 build and subsequently affected air traffic control functions across all landing zones. Lighting for the Klesha prison facility involved a totally different approach as well, and they've been working on this, as this location is built using a mixture of bespoke object containers, such as the main hub, and modularly built elements like the mines and caves. They made several iterations on the hub exteriors and habitation pods, and are currently focused on the underground sections. The challenge there is placing lights that feel natural, diverse, and lead the player to like where they want the player to be led to. Let's talk about AI and NPC work. We start with Combat AI, who focused on refactoring the cover system. The system uses prefabs and objects as cover now, and can have multiple objects used as a single cover object. They've sort of also simplified the AI navigation and pathing to make it more efficient code-wise, but also work in a lot of different locations. They also worked on new combat tactics for holding positions. They've now began investigating work required to introduce the reloading mechanic to NPCs. I'm assuming this has NPCs knowing when they need to reload and when they're low on ammo, and being able to cover teammates and that sort of stuff while they are reloading and sensibly push and hold back and stuff like that. Ship AI have been polishing 3D collision avoidance systems for game dev and Alpha 3.9 branches and streams for the game. Better collision avoidance enables additional combat maneuvers to be developed to add flair to dogfighting AI. In particular, they focused on defensive maneuvers, retreat and flee, that tell AI ships to prioritize shaking off attackers to reduce their chances of being hit. Additional work was done for formation flying too. Work began on capital ship behaviors, and standard dogfight activity was streamlined to accommodate new maneuvers and cope with the growing number of combat requirements. Tests continued on dogfighting, security, and civilian ships, with an emphasis on the 3D navigation system in asteroid belts and clusters. Social AI worked on new features that can be used for both systemic patrol and environmental scripting. Environmental scripting is used to create story scene markups that can be used dynamically by subsumption behaviors to keep active performances as intact as possible. Gotta get fit! Fitness behaviors were developed for New Babbage. There are currently 9 different warm-ups and 6 exercises, including jogging, push-ups, sit-ups, planking, leg raising, burpees. They spent a lot of time sort of like getting those NPCs running around and making the area there feel more alive. They spent time polishing the long-touted bartender experience, which was going to debut in Lorville apparently. He can currently provide bottled schmaltz, draft beer, and whiskey and cola as well. They have been creating animations for work zones, which included datapad and multi-tool use for NPCs. Alongside body dragging and rig improvements, the actor team began looking at visual fidelities of effort set of animations, sort of like getting heavier weight and feel to it. I'm assuming that's literally having NPCs push things and use things that have, weight to them and make it look like they're actually exerting themselves. This is currently scheduled to be delivered in Alpha 4.0 and will further improve the set coming out soon. A model was also finished that marks the beginning of some interesting work for a PU release. Sort of like that's secretive. They are preparing to support next-gen content for better facial rigs. They've been working on improving the DNA system as well, which we'll see in the shorter term. Their top-tier bases get some visual benefits. For ships and gear, they've been polishing the Aspera Prowler, getting its animations working for takeoff and landing. They further developed lots of bits and bobs for the M50's cockpit and exterior to better align with them with the contemporary Origin style. So we are getting a bit more of a rework for the M50 than I was led to believe. The Cutlass Blues prisoner pods were also iterated on to appear more prisoner containment-like. An as-yet unseen ship completed the white box stage and will head into grey box soon. This has to be an entirely new ship, so it could be the Origin ship they sort of like teased a little while ago that might have some sort of exploration scanning or surveying type focus, or it could be something entirely new. It's obviously not something that's planned for 3.9 because it's just gone into its sort of like, or going into its grey box stage. Several older ships were updated to work with the latest shaders as well, so they are getting ready to sort of like add more and more improvements to ships moving forward. Improvements to subsystem targeting mechanics continue. This will see you be able to target a ship's individual systems. Obviously, this is going to be paired with, or at least will have a much better usage once we have physicalized components, so you can actually have the proper damage system and the physicalized components with that. Ships won't have artificial health pools anymore. It's probably one of my most look forward to features, which I will hope is coming this year. All of that together. They've worked to convert and update ships' HUDs to the new building blocks tech. They further developed the flight model, with the vehicle features team saying a lot of things have been happening regarding the flight model, with thruster efficiency curves being finalized, tested, and improved. So this is going to have sort of like thrusters being weaker in atmosphere, so you'll be able to feel the weight of your ship more. It should improve the flight model significantly in atmosphere. This work has also necessitated a new aerodynamic model, which we're ironing out now and getting ready to convert a lot of ships to use. Sign distance field-based atmospheric flight entry effects have been completed and are being rolled out to all vehicles that will obviously use them in a future release. They've created a rig for the Aegis Gladius to enable proper animated interactions between the character and ship. Very much looking forward to that, actually. That will have you, like, when you hit a hotkey on your keyboard, that should actually have your character much more readily and obviously interacting with that particular button. They have been iterating on the Lightning Bolt Co. sniper rifle and pistol. After a round of feedback, they have apparently shockingly good animations for them. Let's talk a little bit about the renderer and backend sort of engine stuff. They're currently testing and tweaking various parts of the iCache, the item cache, and are preparing to migrate several legacy servers to the new model. This is obviously incredibly important, allowing for full persistence and much more efficient use of entities and items in the persistent universe and on servers and that sort of stuff. It's a prerequisite of things like server meshing and that sort of stuff too. The Vulkan G12, the Generation 12 renderer mesh API was refactored for more streamlined and efficient creation and data upload. Unused legacy code was removed and a shader handle was added to the remaining legacy pipeline. There was a huge amount of optimizations and tweaks made to reduce latency and improve efficiency, but I'll highlight a few bits. They've worked on physics threading and performance. They now enable up to 30 physics threads or defaulting to 3/4 of your logical available cores, and they have optimized various processes. So lots and lots and lots of CPU cores now available to be used with that work they're doing. They are able to save a lot more disk space and RAM now as well with various other optimizations. They investigated performance issues with oceans, fixed loads of stuff, they have loads of optimizations for physics stuff and object containers and split object containers. The Vulkan renderer will eventually become what Star Citizen uses rather than DirectX 11 or 12 or anything like that. They've been converting the existing volumetric fog systems and debug tools to that new system. They also began planning and prototyping how to handle interdependencies of resources between shader passes, as the system will need to allocate resources and efficiently schedule work while ensuring it doesn't read resources before write operations are completed. Both Turbulent and CIG have worked on several as yet unannounced projects, and that's sort of it for the Persistent Universe-centric update for April 2020 so far, though we do have a Squadron 42 update that I will take a look at in another video. I'm very much looking forward to Alpha 3.9.0, but also the Gen 12 Vulkan renderer improvements, NPC and AI features that make them not dumb, and even this unannounced ship they've been working on. I am interested in knowing what you think in the comments below as well. For April, we are giving away a Cutlass Black and Star Citizen game package. Just comment on any of my videos made during this month of April to be in for a chance of winning that. I am a shill for a couple of companies, NordVPN and NordPass. If you are looking for a VPN or a password management system, I recommend you check them out. They've got many benefits over free services, and as I'm pretty security conscious, I love those kind of services. Also, there's Shadow. If you are thinking about getting a new gaming rig or upgrading your gaming PC for Star Citizen or whatever, then consider Shadow instead. It is a internet cloud-based subscription service like Stadia, like GeForce Now, but this one gives you access to a full Windows 10 environment which is fully customizable, and that is significantly better in my opinion, allowing you to do a lot more with it. Check out the links below for them or use the code BoredGamer for discount. Also, if you wish to support the channel further, there is Patreon, there's the YouTube join member button down below. That really helps. This is a community supported channel and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the support that I get. If you want to share these videos, if you want to comment, give feedback, whatever, that is also hugely appreciated. Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care and I'll see you in the verse.